Hello, Aso. Can you guys hear me okay? Hello, David. Thank you, Aso. I've been busy, just didn't get to fire up live talk on Friday or Saturday. Uh, hello, Avtar. Hello, Ross. Nice to see you too, Mike. Remember, guys, it'd be lovely to remind me what part of the world you're tuning in from. It kind of gives me that scope of, you know, how far we're reaching and where we are. It's fun. Hello, Jack. Dallas, always first one to help with the protocol. 23 Dallas, mail. Daniel says Albuquerque, New Mexico, but back to Thailand tomorrow. Oh, wow, what a place. I've heard so much about Thailand. Jack, UK 23 male, thank you. Mike, US 62 years male. You're still younger than I am, Mike. Ross, 30 male, MRS. MRS. Let me figure that out. Maryland's? Maritime? Most recent. You know. Uh, what does MRS stand for? I fail on that now. Mars. Oh, Mars. Ross, 30 male Mars. All right. Mars? Is that real? I didn't think that they could put man on Mars, but you seem to have already been there and back. Aso says Mehran, does the immigration to Canada hard? I don't know. I don't think it's overly hard. It's fair. Canada is known to be a fair um, country in its immigration policies, I believe. But I don't know what the criteria are. There are different paths and different regulations, I guess. I think if you go on the Canadian site, Canadian immigration site or something like that, I'm sure if you Google it, it'll give you a guideline and I'll help you out. I'm not that up to date on that. Mike says California, US. Yes. Thank you, Mike. Frost, joking, he says 30 male UK. Well, I was just gonna follow up on your joke. If you would have asked the question, I'd say, listen, we don't seem to be able to reach our our bandwidth doesn't reach Mars. So unless you're closer, we can't send you the response. Good to see you here, Ross. Adash says, hi Mehran, I'm from India, 24 male. Oh, welcome. That must be about 2:30 in India. No? 1:30 or 2:30 a.m. Jonathan McMahon says 38 male, Tennessee. Oh, Tennessee. Beautiful horses in Tennessee. Tennessee horses. Manuel Mireles. Hello, my friend. Nice to see you again. You helped me a lot. I'm delighted that you found the channel helpful. And I'm happy to see you all happy. Yeah. Adash says, death comes to us, to all of us, eventually. Unfortunately, yes. What the lesson to take from it? Any motivation from it? I'm not sure, Adash, if I understand you correctly. Motivation to die? I have no such motivation at all. When something is about to come, sometime, somehow, inevitable, why would I rush it? I mean, things like that. It's the last thing one wants, at least at the ages that you're full of life and you want to live. So why should we think about that? Let's think about now. Again, we are ushering our mind towards inactuality, towards things that really don't matter at this point. If we occupy our mind with the fears and the things that we don't like, we will paralyze ourselves. Understand what I'm trying to say. Death comes sometime, but it's not here. It is not our reality right now. It is not the actuality of how things are. Why should we be focusing on something negative that we hate, we do not like, and have it muddy up the clarity and the involvement and the enjoyment and the happiness that we could have at what it really matters, which is now. Now we are alive. Now we have opportunities to do things, to be happy. Why are we going to mess this up by creating something that doesn't exist, but we give it life by bringing it in our thoughts and allowing our thoughts to replace the actuality, hence destroying the actual life that we're supposed to be enjoying, being in the moment of reality of things. Instead, we are sacrificing that, selling that out to be in a moment in future which is an illusional and doesn't exist, and it's not fun or desirable. By thinking about something, you actually bring that something which is far away and not realistic, not actual, not harming you, not having anything to do with you. You're giving it actuality and bring it to physical closeness, bringing it to physical proximity, close proximity of your physical being. So understand, mind is very powerful, and what it can do, it can betray you by creating a negative feeling and situation about a wonderful moment that you have, turning it into darkness, turning it into sadness, turning it into fear, by thinking about something that is not here, hasn't happened, may never happen for the longest time, or ever, whether it's death or whatever else. But by giving it thought, you're bringing that non-happening thing in the future, even in the future not happening, but you're giving it an actuality by imagining it, bringing it to your mind, therefore bringing the event by thinking into close proximity of your physical being. Then you will be fearful about it harming you physically. So what doesn't exist, you give it existence by thinking about it unnecessarily. How many of you have things that you hate, dislike, an interaction, an event, a possibility, but at the moment you are safe and there's no way in hell that possibility or that interaction or that person or that whatever it is could ever harm you. You're very safe right now. But by thinking about it, you're bringing something that is so far away and illusional, and it's not a part of a reality. You're bringing it, and it's very far away from you in that sense. You're bringing it in close proximity of your physical being by thinking about it in your mind. So in other words, you're decreasing the size of the world and bringing the dangers in the world and focusing on it, bringing it closer. And in your mind, you will think it has reality, which makes you feel it's close to your physical proximity. Then you get really annoyed. This is why negative thinking, excess thinking, thinking about things that don't exist and it's not helpful, is useless. And it's not good. It brings no sense. All it does, it keeps you fearful of something that doesn't exist. Why should you do that? Now, talking about death. Yeah, yes, we will all die one day. Well, what's a hurry to think about it? Let's think about the living. Let's think about life. Let's think about the things you want to do today, now, this moment. That is the reality, actuality. The only thing that exists is now. Now is a representation of the past and future. Where you are is because of the past. But the past doesn't exist anymore. You're here. Now, instead of focusing about here and building something and establishing things that you want to do and do what needs to be done today, you're thinking about what if this doesn't work? What if this did work? What if in the future? Again, you don't choose to be here where life is, where activity and effort is. You choose to either be thinking and worrying about something that has happened before and doesn't exist anymore, or something that might ever happen or never happen, but you worry about it, thinking, conjuring it up for something that is, again, not here. And you're missing the chance of living, because life and living only happens now, when you are active, when you're making effort in something. Whatever you make an effort, that is now. Effort equals now. Imagination, memory, is all non-existence. Memory, something happened in the past, doesn't exist, so you're thinking about something that doesn't exist. Wasting time. Unless it's pleasant, then you're enjoying it. And imagination about something that may or may not happen in the future, again, not happening. So you're missing the moment. Remember, we talked about life is a river. If you're standing in front of the river, facing the river, and on the left is mountain, that the water is flowing from the mountain coming down through this river. And to the right is where the water is passing, continuing its journey. Now, the water that is on your right, which is the water that just passed in front of you, it's your past. You can never reach it. You can never do any change to it. So it's futile to think about it or focus on it, trying to see what it is and trying to grab it. You can't. It's gone. It's non-existent. You cannot reach it. Your span of reach doesn't go to the past, doesn't go to the water that already passed you by. Now, to your left from the mountain is the water that is coming towards you, but it hasn't arrived. That's the future. It hasn't arrived yet. You can't see what's in the water. You can't pick it. You can't dip into it. You can't choose it. You can't figure out what it is. Therefore, trying to focus on it, again, losing the moments that you can really be active and part of something. And what can you be active in and part of something and interact with it is only the water that is passing by you in front of your feet. That's the now. The left from the mountain is future, hasn't arrived yet. You can't do anything to it. Don't worry about it. The one that is gone to your right is passed by. It's your past. You can't reach, you can't change it. Don't worry about it. The only water that you can splash into, stop it, play with it, see what's in it, pick up something from it, is the water that is passing in front of you. That's the way of the river. That's the way of life. No sense thinking about these two and losing the opportunity to be interactive with the actual life, your portion of life. Hope that makes sense to you. All right. Now let's go to Asso says, also Mehran, I put some fillers on my lips lately and some people are calling it lack of self-esteem, when in reality I just did it because it made me happy. Didn't solve my problems, wasn't waiting for that. Fillers, what is fillers? You mean silicone filling that some ladies put on their lips and places like that? Don't worry about what people say. If that's what you wanted to do and you did and you're happy with it, enjoy it. Don't worry about what people say. All kinds of, there are billions of people around the world and they each have different kind of thinking. If you want to listen to all of them, we go crazy. So just focus on your own world. Do what you want to do. Just think about things you want to do before you do them. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about in general. The time to think about what you want to do and the consequences of what you do is before you do it. So, make sure that you think things through, figure things out, weigh the pros and cons, and with cool head, logically and reasonably, having examined all sides of it, go and do it with confidence. Jack says his real name is Mark Watney. I don't know what that means, Jack. Whose name? Those that have read the book, I don't know what you're talking about. Olga says, hello. Hello, Olga. How are you, dear? Hope you're doing well. Lovely to see you here. Roxana says, hello. Hello, Roxana from Iran. Olga from Russia. Adash says, haha, we often complain about life. Isn't death really that shows us that we should live in the present? Everything should show you that you should live in the present. Your hunger should show you you live in the present. Hunger for anything. Thirst, hunger for food and drink and for things that you want to achieve. Learn, know, research, make a difference too. Observe. Just observing things as they happen is involvement, is activity, is effort, paying attention. By observing, you actually make difference. If nothing else, to better your own philosophy of life, understanding of life. Jack says, it won't matter when we are dead anyway. The body will die, consciousness will live on. Yes. Ross says, I still think about my ex from over a year ago, as she was such a nice person. She's the only one I have ever met who's liked me for who I am. If you notice, the sentence that you just used had lots of past tense. She was such a nice person. She was the only one I ever met who liked me for who I am. Liked. Everything past tense. Meaning, obviously she's not how she used to be. And what you liked was how she used to be. And she's not how she used to be. You like how she used to be. So why do you like her now? You know she's changed, and you liked what she was, how she was before she was changed. That's what you liked. Now that she's changed, why are you not seeing her for who she is? Why are you seeing her with the eye of the past? Why are you perceiving her? Why don't you see her actuality? Do not give her the role that you had of her in your mind. See how she is acting now, playing now. Is she with you? Is she actually seeing you the way you are? Is she contributing to your life? If not, then why are you thinking of her now as if she was how she used to be then, when she was doing all these wonderful things for you? So, be with life, be with the actuality, be with the moment, see things as they are, do not perceive them, observe them, actually as they actually are. Did I say two actually in one sentence? Making sure you understand. Actually. So, Ross, stop thinking about your ex and start preparing for the next. Hey, that rhymes. That is my sentence. I claim it. Stop thinking about the ex and start paying attention to the next. Or focusing on the next, whatever. Aso says, Mehran, sounds like you live near the sea. Yes, I do. It's about 5 to 6 minutes walk, but I can see the ocean right now through the trees. 5 minutes walk, I'll be in a park where the soccer fields and the beaches, and then the beach. And then of course you can take a walk for like 3 kilometers back and forth to the end of the sea walk. Today is quite chilly and nice and cozy, foggy. That was the weather report. Now let's go back to what we were doing here. Ross says she's with someone else and I know I need to move on, but I still have regrets for leaving her, which happened as I had things to sort out in my life first. Then you had a good reason. Remember when I told you when I was in university in the course Behavior and Organization taught by Dr. Richard Ferris, Professor Ferris. And he taught us, as part of that course, at the time one makes a decision, one believes that that decision is correct. Think about it. You wouldn't make a decision if you weren't convinced that that decision that you were about to make is correct decision to make. So at the time that you were making with the information available to you, with whatever it was going on with you, that was the most logical decision that you made, if you're a sane and logical person. And we're talking about normal life things, not devious things, not harmful things. So later on, after you make the decision, new information and things change in life, and then you say, oh, I shouldn't have been. No, at the time when you made that decision, things were in such a way that your judgment allowed you and wanted you and thought that is the most logical decision to make, and that's why you made it. So don't turn around later on and question yourself, say, oh, you know, I shouldn't. No. Think it through, come to a conclusion, make your decision, but later on, when things have changed and new information has appeared, that if you would have known or were privy to it, you would have made a different decision. That doesn't count, because at the time you didn't have that information. These information and situations changed later on. That's a different timeline, different period. So, stop regretting. You had a reason for what you did. and put you on the same situation, you would probably make the same decision. So move on and don't condense the world to one relationship or one woman or whatever your relationship is, to one relationship. Don't do that. Life is far bigger than that. So much things you can do. The fact that you think that way, you're not thinking about life or you're thinking about your desire. Desire for pleasure. What you're missing is the pleasure of what and how it was. You're not missing the person. It's the pleasure that you have a relationship with. In most cases, people don't have a relationship with each other. We talked about this in many videos before. You have a relationship with the image of your girlfriend. Now we're talking about one kind of relationship. You guys switch it to whatever relationship you're into. You have a relationship with the image of your girlfriend that you have of her in your mind, and your own image that you have of yourself in your mind. And she has a relationship with the image of you in her mind, and the image of herself, about herself in her mind. These two images are having a relationship. You guys don't know each other. You haven't bonded on a conscious level. You really didn't think it through at all. And then these images are actually representing you, and they're after one thing that the whole life of yours is based around it: pleasure. So these images, which is not you and nor her, is having a relationship with each other, seeking pleasure, 4 reasons of pleasure. So you really have a relationship with pleasure that you achieve, you attain from this relationship being with that person. So your relationship really is not with each other. Your relationship is with pleasure. You fall in love with pleasure. You pursue pleasure. You want to feel good, so you won't have to do anything or worry about anything, not be fearful about anything. And that can only happen when you cannot even remember anything matters, and that only happens when you are in pleasure. Many people try to find this pleasure as a way for them to have an illusion that they've dealt with things or don't need to deal with anything. Whether it's studying for exam, or whether it's problems of money, or whether it's problem of job, whether it's problem of girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever it may be, people try to solve it by pleasure. They think pleasure is smart. They think pleasure has intelligence. They try to solve problems through seeking pleasure, because through pleasure, they forget about everything else that is possibly necessary at all, because they will be totally paying attention, focused, like a meditation, submerged into pleasure. And at the time of pleasure, nothing else matters, because you've got everything. Because in the time of pleasure, you are not even aware of yourself, let alone your needs or your challenges or problems. That's why people run to a relationship and sex, because through sex, they cannot, at the moment of climax, they're not even aware of themselves, let alone any problem. And that moment is the moment they're totally free. So that's why they think girlfriend or relationship is so important to them, because through that, they get to that pleasure part, which frees them from every responsibility or problems that it could be occupying their mind. So in fact, you're in love with pleasure. You have a relationship with pleasure. When your girlfriend leaves you, you think pleasure left you. When she disses you, you think pleasure turned her back to you. If you notice, you actually are in love with the girl that you will be in love before you even met her. Why? Because what you seek from her is pleasure. And you're already seeking pleasure and in love with pleasure. You seek it, you want it. It's engraved in you, it's in your program. Everything, every aspect of your life is based around pleasure. So when you meet a girl, you think, oh, she's the girl of my dream. No, you just found a portal for pleasure. And therefore, you think she's the one who brings the pleasure. No, you're programmed to understand, pursue, and want pleasure. So you're naturally in love with the pleasure, and whatever you can get pleasure from, you think that's a great person. But you think that's a great person because you can get pleasure from. If you weren't able to get any pleasure from that person, you would never want to be in a relationship with that girl or that person. So be wise. When things break down, one person, one entity, one source of possible pleasure has turned you down for whatever reason. But the pleasure itself did not turn her back to you. The pleasure itself is available in many millions of sources out there. You just must understand your choices for your relationship and your partner should not be based on pleasure. Should be based on bonding on consciousness level, to know each other, to know what fear is, what desire is, what ego is, what the role of these things are in your psyche. Therefore, you can understand what the role of these things are in her psyche, in your partner's psyche. Then you start understanding each other and ready to build something. Otherwise, if you just simply look at them as a possibility to attain pleasure, your bonding doesn't exist. It's only pleasure. And you think she is the only source for pleasure, so when she leaves you, you're devastated. So in order to make the relationship last, first of all, make sure it is not based on pleasure only. Make sure you understand each other's psyche, yourselves, and therefore each other's, because you will know the basis of what the psyche is all about, what the role of these fear, desire, and ego, thoughts, and consciousness are into your behaviors and interaction with each other. And then you will bond on that level. And if it didn't work out, you must focus that what didn't work out was not the only source for pleasure which you're programmed to pursue, and the fact that you should not be misguided and misled by the programs that you have, which is seek pleasure and think that it is the pleasure that comes from that person rather than it is you who sees the pleasure in that relationship. When you look at it this way, then you can find pleasure in any other relationship. You won't be so devastated because you will know it is not that person, the only person that could bring you pleasure. Pleasure is available everywhere. And it is very important to understand that you should not pursue pleasure to get rid of your challenges and what your responsibilities are. You should understand that pleasure can be a downfall. Pursuit of the pleasure can also be a detrimental and disastrous, devastating to lives. Because as you're trying to escape from your responsibilities and things that bothers you or makes you fearful, you run into pleasure, and these pleasure could come in different doses and different shapes and form. Not all pleasures are semi-safe, like relationships. There are other pleasures that you could be enticed or try to use to free yourself from the troubles and challenges of life, which are detrimental to your health and dangerous, like drugs, like alcoholism, like all other things that could be considered to you a way to escape from your challenges. But yet it leads you into a downfall and a pit of fire, which by itself, it takes all the meanings away from pleasure. And you will find out that was no way of pursuit of a pleasure, and that was a wrong choice. But you can't see it because it's laced with pleasure. So just maybe that's why people use drugs, because it makes them feel good. But not everything that makes you feel good is good for you. So choose your pleasures wisely. Do not seek something just because it's pleasurable. Check it out, what kind of pleasure it is. It's like a ride in the merry-go, in the fun fair. There are so many rides, but you will check it out. Is this ride safe? What does it do? Is it going to make me throw up or not? You choose different rides. You don't have to say everything that is there is safe, or it's pleasurable. It's for pleasure, so it must be good. No, not every pleasure is good or good for you. Knowing these and thinking and pondering on these things will help you to make the right decision, and not just to be fooled or choose a relationship or a partner just based on pleasure, which is the programming you have, and you are bound to pursue it. So choose it well. Hope that was something for you to think about. Corey says, okay, talking to Ross. Ross says, I know, okay, they're talking to each other. Jack says, why are we even afraid of death? We don't know what death feels like. I think it's because we know we won't be on this earth forever. I truly believe consciousness lives on after the body dies. Matrix 12. Hi, Mehran. Hello, Matrix. New Jersey 58. Good to see you, dear. We are 20 people here who are actively participating in our live talk right now. Please make sure if you're enjoying the talks, click on the like. So hopefully when I upload it, I'll see 20 likes, and that'll help us to be recognized a little bit better in the YouTube algorithm. I'd appreciate it. We need all the help we can get to grow. And it's all up to you if you could share the videos you like and make comments and like the videos that you watch. Jack says, does the donkey think about death when it's pissing in the street? No, donkey and all animals are always living. They are in the present moment. They're in the now. They're enjoying their life thoroughly. He's only thinking about pissing. That's what it's doing, the activity, the effort. You must always be focused on your effort, on the now, on what's happening, what you're creating, what you're part of, what you're mixed in. And animals don't live in their memories. They're always paying full attention with life. Ross says, in today's society, I feel like actual love is so rare. I feel as though women love opportunistically for the most part. Oh, that's in the most part very true. But not all women are the same. Just like not all men think the same. There are all kinds and all kind of motivations. So don't, judge everyone in the same way, but be alert, because there is obviously a big opportunity, big chances that what you say could exist in many different kinds of people. Champion says, unless you have time machine. Okay. Now these guys talking to each other. Ralph says, hello, Mike. Jack says, Mehran, I love to go to my local coffee shop and just sit there drinking my coffee and watch the world go by. My mind goes blank, not in the memories of the past, nor the concerns about the future. Okay, good. It's like a meditation. I've had a great week. Mark says, focusing on being present in the now and not thinking about the past or my ex. I feel like I'm slowly climbing out of this anxious feeling and grateful for the life I have. Yes. And you watch, I don't know if you heard what I said just past few minutes ago. I will upload that separately because focusing on the fact that you are pleasure driven and your life is focused and motivated by pleasure, that bit it could help you to be a little bit more observant and focused on what should have priorities and not fall into that hole that we're all driven towards, which is the pool of pleasure. Pleasure is okay at its right time. The kind of pleasure that we get involved in is very important. Not all pleasures should be paid attention to. And once we know all that, and we know how pleasure plays with our minds and takes us away from the now and the focus of what we want to achieve and accomplish in life, then we have a better chance to know what's going on. Mark says, thank you for all of your help over the last few months. I got this. Mark, 34 UK. Good. Jack says, a lot of people use their phones when they have their coffee. I don't. I just sit there. In today's society, I must likely look like a madman. No, a live man. Hey, thanks that you are here today. My pleasure, Bartosz. Bartosz says, male 22, I have broken up 1.5 years ago, and today when I see photos of my ex with her friends, other guys, I feel really bad that she has a better life without me. Who says she has a better life without you? You're judging her, you're judging for her in her mind? Who cares what kind of life she has as long as she's healthy? Who cares the rest of it? You shouldn't. You are trying to see your life in a relationship with her. Why? It is you being here, you being in existence, that created that relationship and made her and gave her a value. It is because of you that in your mind she has value. She wouldn't have value in your mind without you being involved and commanding that value to be given to her through your thoughts. It is you who's giving her values. She's on her own, has no value to you. You command the value, you give that value. I'm saying to you, focus, open your eyes, give this value to somebody else who wants to be with you and is loyal to you, wants to be in a relationship with you. She deserves that attention that you're giving to her now. Why? Wish her well, but wish yourself well and move on. He says, I was doing my best to make our relationship the best, but I can see that she's more happy. And why do you say more happy? Why do you put yourself down? Why you guys, every time that a girl leaves you, you think that somebody else that she's with is better than you, or she's happier with that person? Why would you think this way? You're putting yourself down for what? Why can't you think that this didn't work out? You know, that's it. If you have a bolt, you know, a nut, and they don't fit, I don't have it here. You know, let's say if you have a bolt and nut and a bolt, if they don't fit, which one is better, which one is worst? Which one's fault is it? Which one has got lower quality? Neither one. Because this one will definitely fit another thing. Let's say this is the bolt. See, this one fits. So suddenly this nut that was being called not good enough suddenly is perfect. So here it's perfect. Only here it was not perfect. Go B, I'm talking. Thank you. So you can see this nut that doesn't seem to be fitting here, there's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't fit this, but does fit this perfectly. So suddenly, this is the same knot, but it's perfect now. What happened? Because the bolt wasn't perfect for it. They were not fitting. There was nothing wrong with the bolt either, because this bolt can fit another thing. See, this one. It fits now. If this is a bolt, this is a nut, this is a bolt, they fit perfectly. So they're both perfect, but if they are meeting each other. These two, that they don't fit, they're both perfect. If this being a bolt and this in nut, they're just not fitting. At a different circumstance, different setting, they both become perfect. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I don't have the right props, but you should get the idea. So if two people are not hitting it off, it's not that, unless, you know, obviously they're supposed to be sane and normal people. I'm not talking about crazy, you know, idiots who harm each other, or they're into different things and, I don't know, they're selfish and narcissists. We're not talking about that. We're talking about two normal people who don't wish ill for each other. If they're not hitting it off and it's not working out, it just means they're not fitting for each other. It doesn't mean any of them is less or bad. And if they find somebody else, it doesn't mean that somebody else is better than you, or that they're happy. They're just fitting each other better. That's all. But you're not, your value in life is not supposed to be measured by if you fit this woman. Well, she's not the right size for you. She's not the right character for you. Your whole worth and value doesn't go around fitting some girl, because there's other girls that you will fit their mentality and their expectations, and they fit your expectations. That's how you should judge yourself, not based on, oh, this girl is not happier with that guy, so that guy is better than you. Why? Who died and left this girl in charge of your worth and value, that you're supposed to measure up to what she likes? Who gave that decree? Who? You did. Why? Because she represents pleasure, and you want pleasure, and you want to please something and someone who can give you that pleasure that you're seeking. So you're really seeking pleasure, not her. And because you can attain pleasure through her, you think you have to comply and you have to make her happy. You have to be the kind that she wants to be with. And when whoever she goes out, you think, oh, that person must be, the right person, because she has chosen him. Who is she to choose? What about, a few months later, she goes on to somebody else? Then what are you going to think about yourself then? Are you still thinking that that guy that she was with is better than you? Or suddenly, now that she's not with the guy, oh, that guy is not good enough either, so I'm better than God. That's got nothing to do with you. So stop these thinkings that letting a girl's preferences or choices of someone else to determine your worth and value, who you are. It's just nonsense. So does that mean you were the best person or most qualified in the world in all kind of things when she was with you, and there were no other guys more educated or more, pleasant or well-mannered or also in the same category as you were, just because she chose you? Well, what trophy did you get when she chose you? Did they suddenly come from some large corporation say, oh, sir, because she has chosen you, please come and be our president? Does that happen? Did the banks call you and say, hey, because she has chosen you, there's $5 million in your bank? Did they do that? No. So what happened that she chose you? What did you become? Nothing. So stop thinking that the girl choosing you makes you or breaks you. Just go born unconsciously, see how long it lasts, and if you guys can build something there or not, and if it didn't work out, wish each other well and go on separate your ways and find another suitable candidate and experience life. All right, let's move to the next question. I think I answered your other question as well, because all you're doing, you're beating yourself down, and that's that's not a way to build yourself in this life and become realistic. You're just focusing on your dick, that you're not with her, and you think what you can't get pleasure from, that means you're no good and you're useless. Take that philosophy out, throw it in the garbage, and focus on building something out of yourself, and appreciate everything that you have, the university, the school, the whatever it is that you want to do, and persevere and make life better if that is not satisfactory to you. Don't sit down and blame or label yourself just because some girl didn't choose you and she has this friend and that university, and therefore then you're useless. Why would you think that way? Don't be selfish and ask for attention by putting yourself down. Putting yourself down, feeling pity for yourself, is one way of being selfish, that you're seeking attention of the others, but you're not moving your ass to make a better life for yourself. That's what you should focus on. What's missing in your life, go prepare, build, and attain it. Achieve it. You can't by putting yourself down, thinking that, oh, okay, I'm good now because I've put myself down, therefore I've punished myself. What? Go make activity, make events happening, make efforts, and build a life that you will be proud of it if you're not now. That's all. No need to blame yourself. Move on. Get your ass out of there and make a life. Okay, Lord Simon says, I am 20 years old and I am from Rome. Come stai? Buongiorno, buonasera. In your opinion, how people should react after a poor figure? A poor figure? I need a little bit more explanation. A poor figure? You mean, first of all, are you a man or a woman? Remember, guys, let me know how old you are, where you're tuning in from, and if you're a man or a woman. It helps me out to understand your questions better, or respond more properly. After a poor figure, how people should react after a poor figure? I don't get it. Help me out, Simon. Jack says, I've been single for 6 months and I am in no hurry for another partner. I so focus on myself at the moment and my goals. Love thyself before others. Very good. But don't love thyself in a way that you become a selfish ass, even if you find somebody nice. And he says, I'm enjoying my own company way more than I thought I ever could. Yes, that's good. That's good. Jesse Schmidt. Guten Tag, Jesse. Jesse says, female 23, Netherlands. Good evening, Mehran. Good evening, dear. I admire the warmth, love, and the inner child which makes you be able to laugh a lot and be silly you have in you. Thank you, I appreciate that. That makes two of us, because I often think the same. I say how silly I am. But often you find wisdom in being silly. That's the only way to fly, dear. How did you accomplish to have these beautiful qualities? I don't know. If you think they're beautiful, which I tend to agree with you, of course, if I think about it. Yes, I just find a pleasantry, strength, power. I find disrespect, negativity, malice, ill intentions weak. I have this samurai mentality. To be powerful, you gotta be true, you gotta be fair. You have to be brave enough to give love. Love is not weakness. Love is powerful. Love not in the sexual way only. I'm talking about compassion, love for living beings, love for being concerned about others, love in a way of wishing everyone well, unless they're assholes and they wish ill to other people. I find kindness strong, strength. I find lack of kindness laced with fearfulness, lack of confidence. So to me, it's easy to give love, respect. And the ones who misunderstand it and think that someone who is kind and warm is a sign of weakness, that gives me my cue to know about their quality and to help me to cut them out of the circle and go forward, because you always want to have good energy around you. And by giving kindness and seeing the respond, you will know who deserves to be associated with you, or who is of different energy that you don't want to have anything to do with. So thank you for the kind words, Jesse. I think there is no reason for any of us to think being an adult or growing has anything to do with being cross-faced, angry, pretentious. You walk around in all places, corporations, street, clerks, stores, see older people by age that they have this, mostly have this persona of importance, self-importance, trying to show power by anger, by putting fear into other people's hearts. It is easy to harm people and to bring fear into their hearts. But it's very much more important and a challenging knowledge to be able to heal people, to give them hope and love, extended energy that is free and abundance in the universe. Help them to grow and develop, become stronger. In turn, the whole universe becomes a better, happier, stronger, more positive, safer, kinder, balanced place. That's what the intention should be. The ones who have not found this way, they haven't grown. They're just fizzling and dying without having learned anything. They're trying to solve problems and getting things through fear and anger and violence and savagery. That is totally opposite of power. Violence is not power. Violence is representation of fear, and in some cases violence is necessary to save your life. That's a different story, but we're talking about a different point of view. So I find the purity in life is where you can still retain childhood. In most normal children, it's only purity and love and happiness, good intentions, that childhood way of thinking. You're curious, you're trying to solve things, learn things. You're not trying to oppress things. So I guess that's why I'm still a child. Learning. Thank you for lovely words, Jesse. Beautifully said. Now let's see, where were we? Ross says, thank you, Mehran, for these wise words. You're welcome, Ross. Jack says, I think your work doesn't get enough credit, Mehran. I tend to agree. I don't know what it is. We haven't been. I mean, I believe that we have good content, and you guys are obviously witness to that. And I've had thousands and thousands of emails and comments of how it has helped people's lives. But somehow we don't get the. I don't know. We're not noticed on the channel. We should have. We should have over 1 million subscribers by now, because these contents are helpful. They're actually helpful to myself. Sometimes when I accidentally watching, when a comment comes in and praises what the content of that certain video was, before I answer that comment, I look at the video, see what video was that, and then I kind of get lost in it and say, oh really, these are the stuff I said. It's not bad. So Kalani says, aloha, my brother. Aloha, Kalani. Male 26. Kalani. Okay, that means Hawaii. I was hoping you was gonna have live chat today. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you very much, Kalani. I am exercising, doing workouts. Last night I did another workout, and it was heavy and it was good. I enjoyed it. I eat right. And I continue trying to do my best for myself and people that I know, and share what little I know on the net. And I'm glad that you're enjoying it and that you're here. I look forward for the time, hopefully not too far away, to visit Hawaii and enjoy myself in the most beautiful place in the world. My favorite place in the world, my home, second home. Jack says, I think pleasure is capitalized heavily today through consumerism. That's a topic of its own, Jack. People try to feel pleasure by buying this, buying that, doing this, doing that. These are all ways of escape. If pleasure turns into escape, it becomes negative. It has negative effects, because then you replace pleasure for all things that you're supposed to accomplish. And you won't. You run into pleasure. You constantly run toward pleasure, whether it's shopping or sex or drugs or alcohol, whatever gives you pleasure, just to not deal with things that life has brought about for you as a challenge. And that's why you should be wise to know what pleasure you should seek, what pleasure you should not see it as pleasure, and you should diss it, not seek it. As I said before, pleasures make you feel good, even so momentarily. But that's why you want pleasure, because it makes you feel good. But not everything that makes you feel good is good for you. This is the key here. So be choosy on the kind of pleasure that you pursue, because your whole life is based and centered around pleasure and pain. And of course, you always run toward pleasure. But you must be wise enough to choose the pleasure that is also good for you, not just makes you feel good. Making you feel good is not a justification to choose a pleasure, to find a pleasure qualified, worthy of you to pursue. No, you must see what it makes you to become. Remember, we always said, which I learned it from a well-known speaker in the past, this sentence: it's not important to get the gold. What you become in pursuit of the gold is the most important thing. You want gold, you may go, I don't know, do something illegal, something bad. You may rob a bank. You may got the gold. You got the gold. But what did you become? You became a thief, a robber. So it's not important to get the gold. What you become in pursuit of what it is that you want to get, that is important. So you may get the pleasure, whatever it is. But what you become, you get the pleasure through drug, you become drug addict. You get the pleasure through alcohol, you become alcoholics. Then you do all kind of weird things to get money for the alcohol or the drugs. So what you become is the most important thing, not the pleasure. So when you want to seek pleasure, find out what is it going to do to you having attained that pleasure. Because that's the real good or bad. That's the real prize or detriment to your life. That's the real outcome. What you become, not feeling the good from pleasure, not feeling the pleasure. That's not really the outcome of the pleasure. What you become, having experienced that pleasure, is what you should be focusing on. Is that good for you? Is that making you feel good? What you become after having attained a certain pleasure? Or is it the pleasure that you're only after? If it's a pleasure you're only after, then the outcome may not necessarily be good for you. Thinking that pleasure makes you feel good, therefore the outcome is good too. No. Not every pleasure is to be chosen. Not every pleasure that makes you feel good is good for you. You must be focused on that. Choose your pleasures wisely and then enjoy the pleasure that makes you feel good, and what you become having experienced that also should be positive and make you feel good. So you'll be feeling good in all angles, all sides, all considerations. All right, let's go to Tuta says, hi Mehran. Hello Tuta. The best DVG says, hi Mehran, male 24, Poland. Dobre diem. I don't know if that's understood in Polish or it's just a Russian word, sentence that I know. Male 24, Poland, why do I have constant need of relationship? Well, because we're like wolves. We like to live in packs. So it's okay. My girlfriend broke up with me month ago, and I moved on. But I feel the need to improve my game and to find new girlfriend. What's wrong with that? Improve yourself, become a better version of yourself, learn from your experiences, and find a more qualified girlfriend for yourself. And he continues, why there is this urge of relationship? Why not? You're a heterosexual male and you love women. What's better than that? You love women. What's wrong with that? So why shouldn't you be pursuing that? Why do I seek that? Why can't I just focus on my activities fully? Oh, that's a different question. That has nothing to do with wanting to pursue a relationship and have a girlfriend, because it's a wonderful thing to do that. But what your problem is that you can't put everything in its own compartment. You are actually, it's like you're on the table, there's 5 kind of dishes on the table, cooked. And you have in your plate a certain amount of food. And you're constantly eating one thing of that. You don't eat your vegetables, you don't eat the starch, you don't eat you're just having the meat. Well, that's your lack of understanding that everything on your plate has a goodness for you, and it's there for a reason. To bring balance to your longevity, to your health, to give you the nutrition that you need in all food families. You need vegetables, you need legumes, you need meat, you need stuff that you need is all in the plate. You gotta have all of them in the right place. You can't just be doing soccer and think that, oh, you'll get paid, you'll have, your company will be happy, your school would be okay too, and your relationship would be fine, your parents and family and friends and girlfriend and work and job all would be fine as long as you keep playing soccer or running in a track. No, that's one part of your life. So your problem is that you're not compartmentalized each part of your life. You're just trying to fill yourself up with one kind of food on your plate, and then you'll be malnutrition about the things that the vegetables would give you or other ingredients on your plate would give you, and you're not taking those in. You're not drinking water. You're just having the food, the meat. You have to balance it out. There's nothing wrong to look for a girlfriend and want a relationship. Wonderful. That's how you're put together. That's your programming for your gender. That's great. But what is important is that in order for you to be able to do a better job at that, what you love, which is finding a girlfriend, you must create balanced performance, balanced knowledge, balanced activity, a balanced mind and body in order to do better at that what you love. And for that, you need to have your job, your studies, your relationship with your friends, all of that, so you can actually become better and more qualified in order to find a better girlfriend. Because if you look at it this way, you will see that by actually doing your job, your studies well, your fitness level well, paying attention to all aspects of your life, you're actually making yourself more qualified to find a better girlfriend. So in fact, you're using all that in order to do a better job in what it is that you love the most, which is a relationship. So if you look at them all can be helpful to what you really love, then you'll pay enough attention to each one of them and you will not neglect them and just focus on the girlfriend. Because it's like saying, I like to play soccer, but I don't know, I can't focus on anything else, while anything else is your coaching and your fitness level and your eating habits and your balance in life, which can give you the more training to become a better soccer player. So you have to understand these are all connected. You want a girlfriend, you want a better girlfriend, you want to focus on that. That means you should focus on all the other things in order to become more qualified and more focused and capable and have more possibilities to find a better girlfriend. If you look at it this way, then you will have a reason and justification to pay attention to the other things, because you will know these other things will help you to get the things that you love the most. That's how you should think it, and that's how you will succeed to bring balance to your activities and life in general. All right. Mark says the job has a lot of different roles, never enough time to do everything in one day. No matter how hard I work, I always feel like I'm not doing enough or good enough. Without validation from the directors or management, I worry I'm not doing enough. How do I affirm myself and relax? Only focus to do your best. That's all. The rest is none of your business. The rest is not a reflection on you. Their judgment is not a reflection of you. Their judgment is their own problem or their own politics or their own whatever. You're only responsible to do your best, the best that you can do, not the best that somebody else can do. You're an entity in this life, mind and body, your research, your wisdom, your knowledge, your education, your training, whatever it is that makes you you. That's what you're responsible to put the best of that towards your work. That's all. Do your best, that's it. Go home at the right time and have a full balance. If you keep working and worrying about it, the quality of your work will go down. If you have a balance of fun and also doing your best when you're at your job, the quality will go up. You'll be happier. And when you're happier, because you're not worrying, because you have a balanced life, then your quality of job will go higher because you're happier. Otherwise, constantly worrying about it, it makes you sad and depressed and worry, and you can't really do a job as good as you can naturally. Just do your best and don't worry about the rest. Oh, that rhymes too. Just do your best, Don't worry about the rest. I said that again. And that will set you free. You're not responsible for their decisions. You're only responsible to what you can do as best as you can do. That's all. Put your best foot forward, and that's all you can do. The rest is nonsense. It's unnecessary worrying. Jen says, Jen says, hi Mehran. Hello dear. It's been a while since you've joined us, I think. Bartos says, you're amazing. Thanks for all your good words. You're quite welcome. Don't forget our channel when you guys are on your social media. Share the videos that you like. Make comments on the videos that you watch. Help us to grow. And like this live stream if you haven't already. If you haven't signed up and subscribed, please do subscribe. And of course, recommend the channel to your friends as well. Jen says, I met a narcissist, unfortunately, this summer. He love bombed me. Then he started being controlling, drive 200-kilometer motorcycle with me, and had guns, so I had to broke up. But I missed the good parts. Remember talking about pleasure? What you become in pursuit of the pleasure is the most important thing, not the pleasure itself. So yeah, there could be some of wonderful things in there, but what the fuck do you have anything to do with guns and shit like that? Who has benefited from that and that kind of lifestyle? What kind of people are they? Well, they have their own agenda, or they have their own mind, and they will deal with that through the law of the land. You shouldn't have to be involved with what their lifestyle is. I don't know what the reason is that they have that sort of stuff, if they have permits for it, and if not, that's their challenge. But you are a free person. You can make your decisions. And obviously, you made a decision that was suitable to you, considering your responsibility toward the law of the land, the civility, the rule of the land, and the legal system, and the well-being of people. And I don't think you should have anything to do with people who run around with a gun on their belt unless they're police officers. And let me know where you're tuning in from again, Jen. El Haj says, hello sir, I'm 23 from Minnesota. How to know if people really care about you? Care about you or care about you when they say sweet things to you? You don't judge people because of what they say. Judge them because of their actions. The combination of what they say and the action is something that perhaps gives you good information on who they are. Marcin Rizek says, for 2 years after ending a relationship. So what happened, guys? I thought the least we can do is to introduce yourself, where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and if you're a man or woman. So we are here and helping everyone to sort out things, but it would be good if we could attend to that one request that I've had. So Marcin, before I read the rest of your question, you come back to me and tell me where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and if you're a man or woman. Thank you. Preston Gray says, 33 male, USA. Thank you, Preston. Good to see you. And Jen says, I'm sad it ended because it started so well. I try to move on, but I'm thinking about him every day. And I broke up 1.5 months ago. I'm afraid I won't find better love. He was first to want all family with me. I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Jen, because from one side you say this guy was into illegal things and had guns and things, and from one side you qualify the guy to be a person that you wanted to spend your life with. I'm not quite sure. Was he into illegal things? Were the guns without permit, or was he carrying it? Was he into wrong things, or what was the situation? Because I don't know about the guy, so I don't know how to judge the guy or judge him at all. Maybe he had a job that was legally allowing him to carry guns. I don't know, so I can't judge him. But if you think that was a lifestyle that was illegal, or something that was not suitable to your thinking, then what's there else to think? And if you think everything was legal and suitable to you, and according to what is authorized and legally permitted in where you live, then what's the problem? Then go ahead and make it up with the guy, make up with the relationship. I don't know. And if you think he was a narcissist, which you say he was, then why do you want to be with a narcissist? How can you from one side say this was a narcissistic situation, a narcissist, and was doing these sort of things that you perhaps think or say, or it is illegal, and then yet you say that you want to, you got to figure out, do you have a standard in life? Or anything goes, as long as it makes you feel good. We just talked about what makes you feel good may not necessarily be good for you. So you're going to choose your lifestyle based on what is good for you, not what makes you feel good only. So if this guy was the right choice for you and everything was good and up, well, then why do you call him narcissist? Why do you think that he's doing something illegal? If he's doing something illegal, or if he was narcissist, then what is your basis? What is your standards in life? What guides you in life to choose something versus not choosing something? Do you have a guideline? You first must have a guideline, so you will clearly know, regardless of what makes you feel good, if it's within your guideline, within your standards, within your core principles in life or not. That's what makes you choose or not to choose something. Not just because something makes you feel good. If something makes you feel good, you still got to see that thing that makes you feel good, is it still acceptable according to your rules and your core principles in life? Make life easy for yourself, guys. Everybody should have a core principle, meaning the things that you will do, the things that you will not do, the things that you will get mixed up, the things that you will not get mixed up, the kind of people that you will associate, the kind of people you will not associate, regardless of what the fuck it could seem or feel or be fun or not. You gotta have these certain clear understanding. Make life simple for you. Then you will have a better chance to be away from problems and trying to sort things out after the problem occurs because you made the wrong decisions. Have a basis of understanding, standards, core principles in life, your limitations and things that you agree or disagree to do or not to do, and choose them wisely and think about them before you choose them to be your core principles. Then on those principles, conduct and negotiate your life. Life becomes easy. You see that, you already have decided that's not something I want to be involved in. You see that kind of people, that kind of people is not some kind of people that I want to associate with. That kind of a fun, that's not the kind of fun I would like to be associated with, even though it seems fun. You've cleared all these things, and then you will naturally, easily choose the things that is according to your principles and standards, and makes life that much easier. And then you don't have to later on try to find the problems and solve them or throw them out of your life, because you, at the time of making decisions, you had guidelines and you made the decisions based on what you already thought it's appropriate, acceptable, or not acceptable to your lifestyle. All right. Let's go to Lukacs Kowalski. Hello, Lucas here. Okay, hello, Lucas from Poland. Great to get some good vibes from you, Mehran, on Sunday evening. All the best. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know how to say thank you in Polish. Gray M says 33 male US. I had a relationship end suddenly. She needed time to think and then left without reason. She had a reason, she just didn't tell you. And that reason may have nothing to do with you. It's what she was operating on. You know, what was she was looking for, or the thinking that would give her a better chance, or whatever it is that she chose that. The last letter she gave me read like a different person wrote it. It is like she had a mask on for the 4 years. How do I overcome the betrayal I feel inside? I don't have trouble trusting people, but I was blindsided. Having no closure bothers me. It feels like the last week together was a different person. We have been separated for a couple of months. Why are you worried about this? The 4 years that you were together, there was no mask. The mask happened when she changed her mind, which has nothing to do with those 4 years. Those 4 years were fine. But people change. Their mentality changes much faster than their physical appearance changes. But we only see the physical appearance changes, but it's easy to see. But the mentality and character is constantly on the changes in the consciousness. The fears, desires, ego, all of that is at work. And those changes is constantly happening. At one time, they turn those mental changes into physical changes of choices. And then you think that all that time was also a fake. No, it wasn't. I don't know when it started, but probably maybe a year ago or whenever. But usually, not all women, but most women, this is how they are. They figure out things and create other relationships, find another partner first, and then they sever that relationship. This is the way they operate. So don't think there's anything wrong with you. I don't think you did anything wrong. She's been thinking about it for a while. And when she had it all set up, then she left you. And then you think, oh, what happened? Suddenly? No, it wasn't sudden. She was preparing for it from a year ago. She was thinking about it 6 months ago. And it has nothing to do with you. Her own shortcomings, her own plans, her own fears caused her, or seeking whatever he was seeking. So there's nothing wrong with you. Everything is fine. And you go on and build another life for yourself. And there is a video I have on this channel. Actually, it's called Closure. So if you key in the word closure on my search engine on my channel, you will have a bunch of things about closure. One of them is just closure. So go for it, and perhaps that would be something for you to enjoy. And Jesse says, thank you again. You're quite welcome, Jesse. My pleasure, dear. Jen says, I graduated, so I need to get a job now. Then I want to travel and move, so I guess I have to focus on it, but it still feels hard and like I wish I could go back to him and make it better, but no. Jen, get your head screwed on correctly. Focus on life, not on one person and his lifestyle, whatever it was between you two. There's so much out there for you to accomplish. Don't try to accomplish your dreams and your aspirations, your goals through another person's lifestyle. Find your own, and then choose a partner based on what it is that you find them qualified or not. Not based on the fact that, oh, being with them makes you not having to accomplish the stuff that you wanted to accomplish, because they're tough. So you can escape it and choose a relationship as escape, a reason for you not to actually do the things that you hoped and wanted to do, the responsibilities that you're supposed to be standing for. Don't do that. Go build your life and then choose your partner based on if they qualify in every angle, not just on the fun angle. Jen says, Sweden, thank you so much for your answers. You're quite welcome. Marcin says, sorry, man. 23, Poland. For 2 years after ending a relationship, I still have not been able to meet any girl who was as ideal as my ex. Ah, that's why. Because you're trying to find as ideal as your ex. Once you find each individual girl that you meet as ideal as they are presenting themselves to be, stop comparing them. They're a different entity. Listen, if your ex was that good, why the fuck she's not with you? So obviously she wasn't that good. Because at one department at least, which was loyalty and staying with you, she failed. Whether she left or you left, doesn't matter. Whatever it was, there was a reason that didn't stick. And that you guys didn't stay together. So that by itself disqualifies her from being a role model to your next girlfriend. You should be looking for something different. You should be looking for something unique, and every woman is unique. Try to understand them. Don't compare it, because that's the first step that stops you from actually finding a real relationship and bonding on deeper level than just physical look. Oh yeah, you were with her for so long, however long it was, and you got to know her and interact and so on, and suddenly you want, when you spend a couple of days or a month with someone, you expect her to be just as close as you were with your ex, which you were together for months or whatever, years, or however it was. You got to spend enough time, the same amount of time, interact in the same ways, experience the same things or similar things or different things, and see each other's interaction and negotiation with daily life. See each other in action in life. Then you see if you think this new girlfriend qualifies or not. She was really smart, he says, and reasonable person who studied medicine. So what? Are you having a relationship with the job or the study field that she was having? Oh yeah, she was studying with medicine. That makes her such a wonderful woman. Why? Why? People think that if somebody is an engineer, or if a woman thinks a guy is an engineer or a doctor, or a man thinks the girl is a nurse or a doctor, that explains their mentality and personality and the character and the commitment and the values that you're looking for. Loyalty, compassion, unselfishness, caring, honesty, trustworthy. That has nothing to do with what the guy or the girl is occupied in his or her business. A doctor could be someone who heals, but is an asshole in his regular life. But because he's a doctor, suddenly you think of, oh, a doctor, a healer. That has nothing to do with his personality. He could be a fucking jackass. Someone is a lawyer or an engineer. You think, oh, engineering, it's a precise science. So this person must be precise, caring, careful, decent. No, none of that. There are lots of engineers, some good, some assholes. You do not get involved or have a relationship with person's education or profession. Do not let profession of a person describe the mentality and psychology and the quality of that person or personality of person. Be very careful not to be bought into the bullshit of what someone is doing represents what someone is. I was going to say when someone is ising. Doing ising. So be careful to not mix up the two. You know? Just because a woman is a doctor or a nurse or a massage therapist doesn't mean she's going to approach a relationship with you with massage or healing. She's still herself before. That's her education. That's her job. So stop looking at it in that way. That she was smart and reasonable. If she was reasonable, why is she not with you then? Do you think it's unreasonable to be with you? Or if you broke up, I don't know what the situation was, but obviously there was something wrong that you decided that that's not reasonable to be with her. So how could it be all reasonable? She can't represent total reasonability. You're just simply infatuated with her, and I think you gotta get your ass moving and treat people nicely as a separate entity, an independent entity they are, individual that they are, not based on a reflection, trying to find a reflection of your ex into the new person. That will never happen. Therefore, you will never find that what you're looking for. There could be far better ones out there. If you don't open your eyes and don't see the real thing and instead looking for reflection of the old thing, past thing, you may be out of luck. She was making me a better person. Really? I thought you're responsible to make yourself a better person. So you wanted a babysitter, your mommy, yeah? Come on, stop talking like this. Focus on self-development. You can do that on your own. Why do you need some girl to tell you that? Why do you need somebody else to tell you that you should be a better version of yourself? You should improve. These are weaknesses that you have to deal with. So you want to relinquish your responsibility on who you are, who you should become, and how to develop yourself, and put that responsibility on somebody else. Now that somebody else wants to take responsibility for her own life and go somewhere for her own sake or whatever it is, and you suddenly think, oh, then you have no reason to become a better person because that person who was actually instigating it, initiating it, and supporting it, encouraging it is no longer there. That's a cop-out. Today I see, he says, that after a breakup, I have lost myself. Really? Get a map and find out where you are. I'm not being, facetious with you. I'm just being pissed off. Because I hate to see men who are intelligent and capable of doing everything just because they've lost a relationship, suddenly they think they can't do anything. Why? Because that pleasure is not there. That they're so lost their self-esteem just because some girl didn't decide to continue a relationship with them. So your whole worth and value is in some girl's decision. And who is that girl? What has she accomplished in this life? What has she brought to this life that has made such a humongous difference to the quality of this life, that her not being in your life suddenly has devastated you and taken all the hopes away from you? Instead of thinking, For God's sake, it was you who attracted her, so it is you who can attract the next one. And it didn't work out after a while, so big deal. Wish her well, wish yourself well. Go on and find other ones. Or you can just, lay there and just be a loser, just because some girl who herself is just another human being, has nothing over you, but she represents pleasure, and you're stuck on that, suddenly calls the shots for your life. I drink alcohol and sleep with girls which are not even attractive for me. So you're just, insisting to be a fuck up. That's what it is that you're doing. Every time when I meet with any girl, I know that X was fucking better in all areas of life. That's the whole thing. Your whole life is running around fucking. And that's why the whole life is becoming fucked up. You need to rise above that and understand sex is part of life. It's not the whole entirety of life. It's a fragment of things that you may want to enjoy. Get off your ass, go get your job back. If you don't have, get one. If you're studying, finish your studies. Stop drinking alcohol, clean yourself up, focus on your life, build something out of yourself, polish yourself, and become qualified as a human being who understands difficulties, challenges, and that you can rise above it and you can deal with it. And then with that confidence, go and you will attract lots of women that are quality women, rather than being so weak that when one woman leaves your life, you think your engine has left. But you're the engine, not her. She was a peripheral that wanted to interact with this engine, and it didn't work out. They were on different timings, so it didn't suit well. So now you go and find a compatible retrofit that you guys can actually build something together and work on life together and build something, improve yourselves. She's just another person. It's no big deal. It happens to everyone. Now, don't turn it into the whole life. Don't turn her into the whole existence of life. She doesn't represent life. She's one human being, and she's trying to find her way. That's it. And messages like character, lifestyle. Okay, it's all plastic bullshit things that you've hung up. Open your eyes, get your head out of your ass, start focusing on reality of life and what's really you can make out of yourself, rather than you were waiting around for her to make something out of you. How? She's trying to make something out of herself. Yeah? This attitude will not get you anywhere. Just move on. Get on and see the world as it is. A lot more opportunities out there than you think, and a lot more women than you think she was. If you haven't made anything out of yourself, that's what you think she was the best you could get. When you make something out of yourself, then your standards will go higher, your expectations will go higher, and then you will not find this girl so the only qualified person that you could choose. You will see many more qualified people, because your quality and your expectations and your standards have gone up, and you will expect a better woman, and you will find a better girl than this one if you first make something out of yourself. All right, let's move on to Halimina. Halimina says, thank you for everything. Imane. Oh, Imane. Yes, hello, Imane. 31 from Algeria. Yes, I remember we've before, I believe. My 3 years boyfriend got engaged and married on paper with another girl while still being with me. Ouch. Our relationship was toxic, but it still hurts. No. Everything toxic can hurt, but doesn't mean that hurt meant the toxic thing was good for you. You're used to that toxic relationship because whether toxic or not, it had created an order for you. A certain mechanical processes were taking place. And those mechanical processes had created an order. And the mind seeks relaxation and refuge and home in order, security in order. So that order, despite of the fact that the relationship was toxic, had created a security in your mind. The life had a certain norm, a certain order. Now what you're missing is not the quality that was involved in that relationship. You're missing the order. You don't have the order. The order has changed. Things are changed than the way it used to be. You're not used to the new way of things being used to be. Being. Like your single life, your way of doing things. You're used to the order that it was, how things were being done, which was in that toxic relationship. Even though it was toxic, but it had created a certain conditioning, certain order for you. That's what you're missing, the order. Not the stuff that had created the order. The fact that there was an order. Now, go and create and continue this time and bring the better version of yourself. Create new mechanical processes in your life, the things that you should do and pursue and accomplish. And you will, in time, create a new order. And that new order will set you free. That you will see the quality that they have created is far better than that relationship naturally. And you will not even miss the order because you have created a new order for yourself. That's what the problem is. And Jen says, I don't know if he was doing illegal things, but my guess is yes, cause he got money fast and mentioned drugs one time. Last time we saw each other, he even did death threats, so I had to live in shelter. Oh, and then you miss this guy? What's wrong with you? Just listen to what you're saying. Yes, I know you're right. My guidelines say it's wrong to continue. He is dangerous and seemed getting angry at me, accused me of cheating. I never did, and created drama. I don't want that in my life. Well, then make changes. It just seemed so perfect in the beginning before shit hit the fan. He gave me love letters, gifts, roses. We went on fun trips, cuddled and seemed to click, but it changed fast, so I had to stop it. Well, listen, you simply are looking for these wonderful stuff, but that doesn't mean just because somebody gives you these wonderful stuff, that person also fits your lifestyle and your expectations as a character or personality. The stuff were the things that created the interest in you for that relationship. The stuff, the romantic things, the flowers, the love letters and all that. The attention. I have a video on the channel that it says the real reason that you want a girlfriend or something about relationship. And it talks about attention. It is the attention that you seek, and then you think it's actually represents the compatibility. It doesn't. Attention by itself is not enough to consider you guys are compatible. However, whoever you are, what relationship you guys have. So focus on the fact that the fun stuff, fun trip, romantic, letters, it all represents attention. And the attention is what makes people think that this is the right person for them, because they're getting that attention. We're all conditioned to want attention. You know? Some people who are not even of the same gender and are not interested in any other gender than their own, but because they receive attention, they get confused that that attention may actually, because it's making them feel good, may actually represent a possibility of a relationship more than a friendship. So you got to understand, attention has a lot to do with your mentality and judging your friends. So in this way, between you and this guy, the attention is the key word that is actually causing you to think you're missing the guy. You're missing the attention. So perhaps this would be something for you to think about. So keep going, building your life, and all that will disappear. When you're confident enough and you do things in life that makes you proud of yourself, and you create attention that you need by yourself, by accomplishing things that you want to accomplish, then you feel very confident, and you don't need the attention. You won't be fooled by attention of friends, girlfriends, or men, or however. You will qualify them based on who they are, not based on the attention that you receive from these people. All right. Dragnil says, hello sir, finally able to catch you online. Hello. And before we go further, click on the like. That's the fee, that's the cover charge for coming to this live talk. And subscribe and click on the bell. Okay, and Dragnil says, I'm 26 from Azerbaijan. Oh, buyuruz. Afandi, I guess. No, in Azerbaijan you don't say Afandi, do you? It's Istanbuli Turkish, I guess. Afandi. Anyhow, good to see you here, dear. And she says, is it a she or he? I suggest it's a she. She says, I'm a virgin before marriage. Oh, topical. Oh, it's a guy. So you hadn't had sex before marriage. So I'm virgin before marriage type of guy because of my religious background. You're from Azerbaijan, so if I'm not mistaken, you are a Muslim. I don't recall anywhere in that religion has a rule that you should be virgin before marriage, but I don't know, maybe you're of a different kind of religion, or that's what you believe. Anyhow, he says, 10 months ago I met a girl and we got close. She wanted serious relationship, but I did not want to. Why not? What's wrong with that? If she was a good girl and she met your standards and you met hers, you were qualified and liked each other. And he says, we were together for 7 months. I could not accept that she was the one, so I kind of knew it will end someday. And it did. She found a guy who wanted serious relationship, as she wanted. Okay. And I'm looking for the punchline here. Okay, I don't have that here. Maybe you're still writing it. So I will go on to the next question. Raf says, what's the difference morally between a woman cheating and a woman finding another relationship before moving on from the relationship they're already in? Before moving on from a relationship they're already in. I couldn't trust someone who cheats Yeah, it's the same pretty much. It's only that on the cheating part, the person doesn't have a plan on leaving the relationship, but the one who's about to leave, but finds somebody else before severs that relationship and knows that she's leaving. Either way, it's a bad manner, but yes, pretty much the same in a way. So let's see. Dragneel has the last part here. When we broke up, but now my life is like a mess. Why? That's what you did to yourself. You didn't want to have sex with her, so that sex and promise of sex or possibility of it, you were so close to it, was dangling in front of your nose. And now that she's gone, you say, oh God, I almost had sex. Even though you say you don't want to have sex before marriage, but the fact that you're a man and you're programmed for procreation, you know, you're a heterosexual male and you're programmed for procreation, and therefore you could see the possibility was there, and now that possibility is taken away, even though you don't want to you don't want to have sex before marriage, but still you're a man, you want it. And now you feel sad that that possibility is taken away, because it was always there. It's like having a sandwich and not eating it and just putting it in the fridge. It's there. You can, the fact that you can have it anytime you want, or at least its possibility was there, was making you relax, comfortable. But now that somebody came and ate the sandwich, holy shit! Now you're gone nuts. But no, there are more sandwiches out there. Don't have to panic. There will be more sandwiches. And it's all out there. And that the rule that you have put on yourself is by yourself. I don't care what the religion says. If it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. What is it making sense to you? Do you want to have sex? Well, there are probably lots of girls in Azerbaijan who would love to know a good guy and be a girlfriend-boyfriend situation. And maybe if they decide to have sex, they will, before marriage. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to not have sex before marriage, well, that's up to you as well. Then find a girl that you qualify and get married and have sex. But is sex the only reason you want to get married? Because if you don't have sex before marriage, then how do you know that you're actually getting married for real reasons, right reasons, or you're somehow, without really focusing on it, you're getting married because you want sex? You're tired of not having sex, and your genes is programmed to want that. So is it really marriage for love and building life, or is it ulterior motive there that you're not even focusing on, paying attention to? It's the fact that you want sex. These are things you got to answer. I don't know how to answer it for you, because you seem to be a religious man and you think that is your religion, and well, I respect that. So you figure out the answers to those questions by yourself. Now, Holy Mina says, Dear Mr. Mehran, I'm having difficulties understanding how he could hide such a thing from me and not even discussing or breaking up. Oh, what are we talking about? Holy Mina says, thank you for everything. I'm Imane, 31, from Algeria. 3-year boyfriend, got engaged and married on paper, and with another girl while still being with me. Our relationship was toxic but still hurts. I see. I think we discussed that. And then she adds, I'm having difficulties understanding how he could hide such a thing from me and not even discuss or break. Oh, he never told you that he got married and still with you? What an asshole. Move on. And thank you for your answer. She says, that's what I've been doing from now on, developing myself, watching your videos and having support from different great people like you. Okay, wonderful. You'll be fine, Imane. Don't worry. Life is bigger than that. For a while you may be going through this turmoil and thinking, but thoughts are not reality. Thoughts are thoughts, and it's occupying your mind. Focus on the now in your life. Build something out of yourself. Accomplish things that you want to accomplish. Make yourself happy on your own efforts and plans, independent from other people. Then that happiness would be much longer lasting than the happiness you gain from a relationship kind. Kalani says Christianity is like that, Mehran. No sex before marriage. Ah, well, that's like a punishment. And then one really doesn't know if the marriage is for marriage or is it actually has other motivations there. Jen says, thank you so much, Mehran. I'll think about all you said. The attention is what I miss, yes. But like you said, I believe is true. What I believe, you said, I believe it's true. I have to build myself so I won't seek attention, but good people in life. Yes, I must go sleep now. It's midnight here, but I wish you a lovely day and see you more next time, I hope. Take care, everyone, and don't forget to give Mehran big thumbs up. He's a genius. Bye for now. Okay, thank you, dear. I appreciate the kind words. Be good to yourself always. Talk to you soon. All right, now. S7 says, my brother, I broke up with my girlfriend. And I was so upset that I was diagnosed with ligma. Please pray for me. I'm very sorry to hear that. Of course, I wish you health as soon as possible. Kalani says, I'm a Christian to build a religion, but also have real life versus religion things. I have sex personally, even if not married, but I don't let it be an addiction that makes it the sin. I feel no sex before marriage. You guys can't bond on a higher level and really get to know each other. When you have sex, you put sexual desires out of the way and you can now bond. Yeah, that's right. If you don't have sex with your girlfriend, when both of you want to have sex, if you don't have it, then you'll be compliant to everything she says, but you really don't know if you're really agreeing with her or you're agreeing with the fact that because you want to have sex someday, you just can't think. You got to get that clarity, and that is when you, it's like, you know, you're hungry and your teacher or your friend or the, I don't know, food maker keeps telling you, yeah, you know, it's very bad this or very good this, and you always agree because she's in control of that food and you're hungry and there's no way you can't even, you know, care about what you think. All you care about is to agree and to be compliance, so you'll have a chance to, you know, be able to get your hand on that plate and eat that food. But when you already come into that store with, or to that friend with the full tummy, you've eaten, then the conversation is based on your understanding, their understanding, compatibility, reasonability, logic, truth. It's not based on some temptation or something else encouraging your agreements with them. I don't understand. Our friend is now using the word ligma, because ligma is actually a loose internal gene, myasthenitis. But it's a fictional disease, I understand. Okay, so you pulled my leg. That's all right. S7. All right. Good joke, but waste of time. So, Classica says how to deal with girls who only want to text but never meet for the first date. Offer a date once, and if they cancel it, just move on. Just move on, or give them another chance. Look, anyone who cancels a date, you should get your cue from it. If that cancellation didn't have a good enough reason, it's waste of time. It's nonsense. You don't even care to know the reason. You shouldn't even care to know the reason. You just know that that was not the right girl. That's it. Don't worry about it. Don't.